If you guys are trying to get tickets to any kind of game, Major League Baseball, basketball, football, soccer, you better be using GameTime to get your tickets. GameTime has last-minute deals, all-in pricing, and their lowest price guarantee. Make sure you get the best ticket possible. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets to sporting games, concerts, comedy shows, anything you want, because GameTime makes everything easy, affordable, and gives you the peace of mind you need. So take the guesswork out of buying your tickets with GameTime. Download the GameTime app, create an account, and use promo code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. Once again, create an account, redeem code LOCKEDON for $20 off. Download GameTime today. Last-minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. So earlier this week, the Jacksonville Jaguars released Gabe Davis. He signed a contract last offseason with Jacksonville. They underwent a coaching change, a general manager change. They drafted Travis Hunter, and they decided to part ways with Gabe Davis. When you look at the Browns' receiver room, these are the names currently listed on the depth chart for the Browns at that position. Judy, Tillman, Deontay Johnson, Jamari Thrash, Michael Woods, and David Bell. The Browns have had very little luck drafting receivers. So Tyvis, with a quarterback battle, a lack of weapons on the outside, if the price is right, and I understand that's a big part of this, but if the price is right, would you be interested in the Browns taking a flyer on Gabe Davis to see if they can resurrect his NFL career?
Resurrect?
He just got cut after 1 year to sign a big deal. He's in the dumps.
I mean, he's a Jag. This is what it's come to. Resurrect his career? Did he have some big career somewhere that I don't know about?
In Buffalo, when they went up against Kansas,
he was just the guy.
He had like 4 touchdowns in the playoff game.
He had a big game, okay, but he was just a guy. I mean,
that's where he got the name, Big Play Gabe.
Yeah, that was the only game he was Big Play Gabe. But go ahead, Tyvis.
I mean, listen.
He set a $40 million contract for 3 years.
That was pretty stupid, obviously.
And how much of that was guaranteed?
I'm just saying, it's a resurrection project. Tyvis, should they be interested?
Sure. I mean, but it's not like we have great wide receivers outside of Judy anyways. Why not? Bring him in, see what he's got. He looked like he put on a bunch of pounds. That's probably what his problem is. Got to cut. Look at me talking like, what's wrong with me telling him that he put on like I ain't fat? But anyway, he probably cut a couple pounds and all those things. But I think I'd bring him in, help these young guys, give them receivers to throw to. I just don't know how much down the field, because he was known for being this vertical guy when he was with Josh Allen. I just don't know how much of that goes into Kevin's offense. I mean, I feel like it's a lot of bang aids, a lot of over routes and things like that. So I don't know how effective he'd be, but I'd take a flyer on him.
He had a lot of touchdowns for Buffalo in 4 years. Like, he averaged like 6.5 touchdowns, which is pretty good. He never put up much yardage. He'd be inconsistent. He'd have like a couple of really big games, and then he'd do nothing for a month. He's like remember Will Fuller with the Texans?
Yeah.
Will Fuller. That boy was fast.
He'd have a couple of games where he'd put up huge numbers, and then he'd disappear for a month.
He'd have one game with 3 touchdowns. Everyone would pick him up on the waiver wire, start him for 2 weeks, and he'd have one catch for 15 yards total.
That was Gabe Davis with Buffalo, I feel like. I mean,
you ain't wrong.
He was kind of like, he's an average player with Josh Allen. So
would you bring him in?
I mean, fine.
That's what at the end of the day, like
Mike said, if the price is right, who is paying him any significant?
He was on the books for $11.5 million.
I know, but that was insane. So that was like the Jaguars. They compete with the Browns for stupidest organization in sports.
Does the Jaguars
that contract we all said was insane, and then they cut him because it was insane.
I mean, I just did a quick glance. I don't know what his guarantees were on that. I don't know what he actually got out of that.
By the way, I just was reading Deontay Johnson has 0 guaranteed money from the Browns.
Yeah.
Zero. Yep, that's correct.
And I would think...
Smart. That's smart.
Yeah. Gabe Davis, at this point, he's not getting any guaranteed money or minimal, I would think.
No. I don't know where he Patriots or something like that. I don't know.
I mean, it's fine if the Browns want to bring him in.
If they bring him in, cool.
I mean, he's better than a lot of the other guys they got, so whatever. But
I mean, I'd always look at this from the player's perspective. Would Gabe Davis want to be here if he's got opportunities to go elsewhere? Deontay Johnson probably didn't have very many opportunities. That's why he's here on a 0 guarantee contract.
Yeah. I don't think Gabe Davis is going to have a ton of opportunities, but probably more than Deontay Johnson.
More than Deontay Johnson.
Deontay Johnson at his best is better than Gabe Davis.
Absolutely.
But Gabe Davis didn't quit on his team, as far as I know.
Yeah.
Quit on 2 teams.
So if the money is similar and you have the chance to go be a 3rd or 4th receiver, with a
Right.
semi-decent quarterback throwing to you, or you can come here. Where are you going to go? You're probably going to go elsewhere.
Why?
Because you'd rather go with a better quarterback.
But you could be arguably a number one.
You could be wide receiver 2
He
here.
could be the number one.
It's possible.
Two.
He could be the number 2, but I bet
Who's
he wouldn't
throwing
be.
it to him?
I mean, that's fair, but
Dylan Gabriel.
are the opportunities as option 2 with a worse quarterback better if you're trying to get another contract or however you want to?
He's not getting that. He's never getting a big contract.
I'm not saying a
Jacksonville was
big
high
contract,
when
but
they
just
signed
get
him.
signed to something. He's not that old, Bo.
I know, but he's just not that good, Mike. He never should have gotten that contract in the first place.
I'm not agreeing with the fact. Remember he signed last year, and I was actually out on the panel.
Right.
And we were talking about how crazy that.
Yeah.
I'm with you. It was a bad contract
Yeah.
at the time.
And the
But
Jaguars
Gabe
realized
Davis
it
is
a year
going to try
later.
getting paid again. He's like, you got to cut him over. Like,
Yeah.
He's going to try getting paid again. So for him, would it be better to potentially be higher in the depth chart with the worst quarterback, or as opposed to being a fifth or sixth
First
guy?
of all, there's probably a better quarterback, a team with a better quarterback, because almost every team has a better quarterback, where he might be able to compete for a second wide receiver job too. Like here, he'll be competing with Cedric Tillman and Deontay Johnson. And remember, you guys are saying second wide receiver, Mike, but the Browns have 2 pass-catching tight ends.
Yep.
They
So
do. That's a good point.
there's a lot of other teams that don't even have 1, let alone 2 at tight end.
No, that's a good point. I didn't even think of that.
So couldn't he compete? I was gonna say the Steelers, but right now their quarterback situation is not any better than the Browns. Where else could he compete to be the number 2 receiver? He'd go back to Buffalo. Not right. Who they got?
I mean, if Josh Allen wants him,
Yeah.
like that's a team where if Josh says,
right.
"Yeah, I like him. He's a good red zone target. Bring him in."
If I'm him, I'd rather be the 3rd or 4th guy in Kansas City than be the 2nd guy here.
From the Browns' perspective, can you bring up the list again of the Browns quarterback room? Do you
Quarterback or
room?
receiver?
or wide
I'm
receiver?
sorry, receiver. Do you? And the answer very well may be yes, absolutely. But I'm just wondering, do you know that you know that you know that you know who Jamari Thrash is?
No.
Do you know that you know that you know that you know who Michael Woods is?
Nope.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about David Bell?
Yes.
Yes.
And
Not,
what
but
about
not Tillman and not Thrash.
Okay, and I was going to say said. So I was talking to somebody with the Guardians a couple years ago who said, I understand this is different sports. But
Yeah.
who said, like, we need to know who we have before we go out. Like, if there is a significant upgrade in trade or free agency, we're going to try and make that swing and make that move.
Right.
Otherwise, we have to know what we have here, in-house, internally. With where they're at this year in competing and everything else, I don't think it makes sense to bring in somebody off the street who probably doesn't have a bright future here, Gabe Davis.
Right.
When he could be taking snaps and reps away from guys who you aren't entirely sure yet that you know with guys you have in-house.
Especially when you've already done it with Deontay Johnson.
Exactly. How many of those guys do you really want around?
So you're right. Gabe Davis probably doesn't make much
Now, if you want to bring Gabe Davis in on a non-guarantee and one guy, like fight for my love, and Deontay and Gabe are fighting over one spot.
Fine.
Okay,
I'm
I guess,
with
but
that.
I don't want to bring in a bunch of retread veterans.
Right.
When you need to find out what you have in these young. This is the perfect
right.
season to find out what you have.
last year?
Yeah, he only played in a couple of games. Jason, I want to ask you a question on that real quick. And I don't for the record, I'm not necessarily disagreeing. I'm just asking a question.
Yeah.
I think you're disagreeing, Mike.
No, I'm not. I'm more just asking a question based off what he said. In that same vein, and you have said on this very program that you want and you think and you're kind of demanding the Browns play the rookie quarterbacks.
Yeah.
You got to figure out what they have.
Yeah.
Can you get a better sense and a better chance to evaluate those young quarterbacks if they have more proven commodities around them on the outside to showcase what they can and can't do? And if that is the case, would Gabe Davis, compared to a Jamari Thrash or David Bell, give you a better chance to figure out, okay, Dylan Gabriel, are you the guy? Shador Sanders, are you the guy?
No, that's fair. And I think you have Judy, he's a veteran option. You have David Njoku, he's a veteran option. So you do have veterans around. And I just said, like, if you want to bring Gabe Davis and Deontay Johnson in to fight over one spot, or Deontay Johnson and whoever else, whatever. Yeah. But I'm not giving up more than one spot to a veteran retread, because it is a good point. You want veterans around them to help these young guys along. Thrash is unproven. What is it? Is Thrash second year?
This will be his second.
David Bell's what? Fourth year?
This will be his fourth year.
So I mean,
Tillman was showing progress before getting hurt last year.
He was, and Tillman. This
Thrash
is year
was a
3
late
for
pick,
him.
so who knows? But
this is year 3 for Tillman.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, that's not young. By year 3, you kind of know what you're doing, or you should know what you're doing. But if you want to burn one spot on a veteran guy, okay, fine, I guess. But I just don't want to fill that room with guys when, I mean, this is a perfect opportunity to find out what you have in Michael Woods. It's a perfect opportunity to find out what you have in Jamari Thrash. I'd rather give the snaps to those guys.
How many years Michael Woods been here?
He's always been hurt.
That's what I'm saying.
And he was undrafted, wasn't he?
I thought I was just going to ask you that.
I thought he was
or
a
late pick.
He
maybe
was late.
6th round
out
pick.
Of what,
or
Oklahoma?
Like I don't remember.
He's
Oklahoma.
But yeah, I agree with. I think it's a good question.
He was
Mike.
a 6th round pick in 22.
Yeah, I think it's a. Oh, so it is his 4th year. Oh, 22?
Yeah,
4th year.
Yeah, him and David Bell were drafted the same year UCSS started.
It's a good question that you asked, Mike, but I think in the end, Jason is right. You have Jerry Jeudy, David Njoku, 2 veteran receivers. Cedric Tillman's in his 3rd year, and then either Deontay or Gabe Davis. That's plenty of veterans for the young quarterbacks.
Yes.
You know, I don't need another one to replace Jamari Thrash as the 4th receiver. It's just, it's
I
not
would much
necessary.
rather play if Woods can stay healthy.
Woods or whatever. Whoever you like the best out of Woods, Thrash, or Bell.
This is a transition year.
Yeah.
Whether you want to hear it or not. So find out what you have in these guys.